I have a good sex life, not afraid to say that. I suppose I'm not the sort of person who settles for anything less than a good sex life.
In this day and age, people are having sex younger and younger. There's more and more sex on TV, in music.
Me and the guy making out on the rugby pitch.
You and I are basically kinky besties at this point.
Some edge play includes blood, knives, needles, electro, fire, and consensual non-consent, all that sort of thing.
Just one of those things, like, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of my sexuality. I'm not ashamed of the sex that I have. I enjoy it very much. I enjoy sex.
Well, I mean, the way that I see sex and consent is quite simple. Don't get some until you get some.
That's true. My life is a porn. I just don't film in it.
Welcome to the A-Slut podcast with your host, Steel Claw. Now strap yourselves in and prepare for some sexy talk, some educational chat, and terrible jokes. And remember, let's get A-Slut.
And hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the A-Slut podcast. It's really good to talk with you guys again, as it is every time I do an episode. I was going to say every week then, but it's definitely not every week, but I think I'm actually on time with this one for a fortnightly episode. So that's really, really cool. Don't forget to check us out on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the A-Slut podcast. And also subscribe to our Patreon as well, which is patreon.com/the A-Slut podcast. Now, this week is going to be something a little bit different. The format of the show's a little bit different. Everything's just a little bit changed. You could argue that I'm switching up my style, like the videos with my pieces. Each is such a wonder, with a plethora of features. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Either way, I think, guys. So this week we welcome back a guest who was on the first ever episode of the A-Slut podcast. We welcome back Lauren. And we're going to talk a little bit about Tinder and online dating and stuff like that. I know we've done online relationships and stuff recently, but I think online dating is its own separate things. We're going to hear from a few people. We're going to react to their stories and see what they could have done better, what could have gone worse, and just basically hear those stories, react to them, and sort of move on from there. I might even read out a couple of stories that were on the old Facebook channel when I put the word out to try and find some of these people. So stay tuned, listen in, and please enjoy. And don't forget, let's get A-Slutty.
I'm feeling down, going on Tinder, say it's a joke, but no it's not, it's so much fun, rejecting strangers. Come on, boys, show what you got. No, no, no.
The lower the top, the harder the swipe. Even this landscape's looking alright. Wait for them to match me back all night. Posing with your duck face on Tinder. Posing with an actual duck Tinder.
Asking, are you down to
Tinder.
Posing with a fish, posing with a gun.
Don't give a fuck like everyone. Swipe them all straight to the right. Hey baby, up to tonight. Damn, that ass looks mighty tight. Oh no, I've been blind.
I'm hooking up, now I'm on Tinder.
Which one are you in this group pic?
Let's meet tonight.
What's on your finger?
I live with Mum.
Check out my dick.
No.
Tinder.
No.
Tinder.
No.
swiped and matched, my love's been found. 2K's away, I'm running round. Tinder.
No.
Tinder.
No.
Tinder. False alarm, boys.
Let's check out what's happening on Grindr.
Oh, wow, there's like 50 guys in this area keen for sex right now.
So, welcome back, I guess.
Thank you.
It's been over a year since we first talked. Welcome back, Lauren. How are we doing?
Thank you. I'm doing all right, and I do apologise. My voice is going a bit sick at the moment, but hopefully I can make some words happen today. Yeah, awesome to be back. I can't believe it's actually been a year. It does not feel that long, in all honesty.
Time flies.
Exactly.
It's terrifying.
It is.
It's genuinely terrifying. But, yeah, so obviously you're a trooper for actually still coming in with how your voice has been. I do really appreciate it. But we're doing something a wee bit different today, aren't we?
We are. Something I'm not sure if you've done before, but it'll be interesting to sort of do some commentary. I've seen a few reaction videos, you know, the old YouTube videos, reactions and stuff, and I've always thought those were really funny. So, yeah, keen to get involved and make some comments and yeah.
Yeah, so like I touched on in our little intro there, we're basically going to be listening to a few success stories and one amazing Tinder nightmare.
I'm so excited. I actually can't wait for that.
And we're basically just going to talk about how they've gone through things and basically our thoughts on their process and how it's worked and sort of just go from there. It's going to be quite loose, I think.
Cool.
There's not going to be any set stage for this, but to be fair, anybody who regularly listens to this knows that there's not any real planning to it.
Good.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and listen to the first person. Her name is Kirsty. She's an old friend of mine of about 10 years now.
Okay.
She met her partner on NZ Dating, a website here in New Zealand, and they've been together now for about 7.5 years and have just had their first child.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So let's get into it.
Okay, so it's my honour to welcome to the show for our quick little chat here, Kirsty. Kirsty, you and your partner met on Tinder, I believe. Tell me the story about how you two met.
It was kind of a mix between meeting online and meeting in real life. We just didn't realise that we were the same people. So he was working on a farm that I was on doing silage and came to my house to refill his water bottle. And then I was talking to him online and it turned out to be the same person. So whether or not he knew it was me at my house, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it was kind of a weird, ironic meeting.
So was it through like an online dating website, or was it, how did that go? Did you just sort of start sending messages, or how did it go on that side?
It was through NZ Dating, and we had been talking for like maybe a month or so before he was on my farm. And yeah, it was just that whole random message each other. Sorry about baby in the background. But yeah, so that was 7.5 years ago now. And as you can hear, we have a baby together now. And running his family farm together and living life.
So who initiated it to begin with? Who sent that first message, and then tell us about the story, how it went from that sort of realising who each other was online and how that sort of morphed into the real life side of thing on the farm.
So he sent the first message. I was never good at doing that kind of thing when I was online. And he kind of was just like, oh, so whereabouts do you farm? And I was always really reluctant to say where I farmed because I lived on the farm. So it was kind of like, oh, if I tell you where I live and work, then if you're a weirdo, then I'll never get away from you. But he already knew because he had been there. So he was kind of like, oh, did you have someone come to your house and fill you a water bottle? And I was like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah, that was me. So it kind of took the nervousness out of meeting him properly the first time. a little bit less because I'd already met him before. And then, he just came over to my house a couple of nights later and I made him dinner and stuff. It was quite cool.
Okay, so that was Kirsty telling us her story.
Yep.
Quite an abrupt end there, but I do thank her for coming on. It's kind of a cool one, I think, especially after 7.5 years. But what were your initial thoughts after hearing that story?
First of all, congratulations to Kirsty on having a successful relationship for that long and a beautiful family. That's amazing. And also, I'd like to say well done for not wanting to share your address with him. First off, you hear too many stories of when that's gone wrong for people, so credit to you, girl. That was awesome. I think the first thing that I'm sort of wondering is I'm wondering if Kirsty would have had the same success and would have actually developed a relationship with Craig if they'd only known each other when he came to fill up his water bottle at her place at the farm, and if they didn't have each other online, would it still have worked? Because she mentioned that she was too anxious sort of to send the first message, so I'm wondering if they didn't have each other online and he sort of came into her place, filled up the drink bottle, and even if she had that attraction to him then, would she have been able to pursue something? Would he have? So I'm sort of thinking it's lucky that they did have each other online as well, so they could pursue each other through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have just sent a message to her asking her this question, so I'm hoping she gets back to me by the end of this reaction.
Awesome, that'd be good to know.
We'll be able to know the answer to that.
That would be very good to know.
I think the an important part that you touched on there is the fact that she protected herself early on.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though at that point she didn't know that they'd met, but still looking after herself more than anyone else, which I think is really, really key to this.
Very much so. I also think she and Craig were obviously a good match because they had the same job, or they worked in the same industry with the farm and everything. And obviously they were lucky enough to be able to go on a nice holiday together. You know, they obviously had the same holiday interests, because I know organising holidays can actually be really difficult because people are different. And even though you love someone to bits, or you're dating and you've got that attraction, you are different people, and organising a holiday can actually be super, super difficult.
I laugh at that because I'm still organising mine, which is happening in less than a month.
Yeah.
3 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just a couple, but 3 people.
Yeah.
That were very different. And you look at the Spotify playlist that we put together, and you can see
the differences. I love it. But it'll be awesome to share experiences with different people. You can learn a lot from different people.
So cool.
But yeah, I think it's maybe a lucky coincidence that they knew each other outside as well as on the dating site. So they sort of knew after they'd obviously realised that it was each other and they knew each other. They sort of knew that, this is a person who has the same interests and stuff, instead of just online where you're not really sure what the other person's life is like. You don't know them outside. You don't know what they're sort of interested in. So I think that's quite a lucky coincidence that they had.
And I think it's really cool that they had that sort of even just a brief interaction before realising the online thing would happen. Because, I talked about this in my online relationships episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I did a couple of episodes on that. And one of the key things to come out of that was when you're talking online with somebody, you're only getting 7% of the full communication.
Yeah.
So the fact that they had this other interaction, albeit brief, you can still take a lot of out of that brief interaction of who they are as a person and what they're like and that sort of thing, as opposed to just going with the online thing. And that is one of the big detractors to online dating, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it. I do a lot of it myself. I've had a Tinder match while we've been talking here.
Nice.
which is an absolute freaking bonus. But yeah, we've just had a reply back from Kirsty.
Awesome.
She literally just says, "Don't know. I don't really think about it, to be honest," which is fair enough. You don't really want to think what could have been.
Yeah, exactly. What if it never happened? You know, that's obviously they've got a successful relationship and family and an awesome life. So yeah,
why worry about what's happened?
Exactly. That's a good point.
So that's fair enough. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I actually agree with you with the point about online, sort of you don't get the full picture of the person. Like it's not
even just a full picture. 7% is such a big amount, because you've got tone of voice, you've got facial recognition, you've got body language.
Exactly.
These take up the other 93%. Is literally everything. All you get is words on the screen.
Exactly.
there's no way that it's been said. And this is the key thing. Like, a lot of things said online can be misconstrued in the way that they come across because you don't have a tone of voice.
Exactly.
Something that's meant to come across as playful and joking can come across as an insult.
Really harsh, exactly. Or the other way around, something that, people struggle to take it seriously because there's, it's said online, but the person actually wants to communicate something quite serious. And I think part of online, and I do it all the time when I'm messaging people on Facebook, and I've done the Tinder thing before, and you always do it, but someone says something and you're sort of sitting there like, I have nothing to say to this, or that's not like, I'm not laughing, that's not funny, I don't really understand what that person said, or I don't really like the joke or whatever, but you send a ha with a smiley face or something, you send some emoji, and it's so easy to sort of fake a reaction, but in real life you can't do that.
And that's the other part that I find quite interesting with online dating. And I'm saying negatives, but I genuinely don't think that online dating or anything like that is a negative thing. I think if people want to meet that way, that's absolutely fine. It's
awesome.
really, really
absolutely,
cool. But what I was going to say is that the time that somebody can take to formulate a response to a message as well, when you're going via text on a screen, can give the person who's responding to a message can literally put across who they think the other person wants them to be.
Yeah, definitely.
As opposed to who they actually are as a person, or they can begin to manipulate the other person's thought of who they are.
Exactly.
Around that sort of thing, which is really quite dangerous. And again, I'm not trying to be negative towards online relationships. I think they're great, but these are some of the pitfalls that can come in, and that's why I think it's really cool that Kirsty and Craig had this interaction.
Yeah, definitely.
This personal interaction as part of it all. Well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is very easy to, and I mean, you always want to portray, the best version of yourself, and online it's easier to do that. You can make the other person believe that you're a certain way, or you can take that time and make the responses to seem like the best version of yourself, to, oh, this is the wittiest response, or oh, this is going to be really cute if I do this, or let me think about a really cool response, and I might, take some time to do that, which is great. It's awesome, and in real life it's quite hard to take the time, and I think people sort of blurt out too quickly sometimes, and you do feel like a bit of an idiot when you say something too quickly. So there is that to be said for online. You do take the time to think through your responses, which can actually be a very, very positive thing.
Now I have to say, while Lauren was listening to that conversation, she's written a whole page of notes, which is quite fantastic. What else is on your magic sort of paper there?
Cool. So I think that Kirsty made a really good point about anxiety. So being online and not having that face-to-face interaction, and having the time, like we've just mentioned, to take to make a really good, well-informed response. It's a really great outlet for people who might be a bit more shy or a bit anxious and may not be able to make those moves in real life.
Or even have social phobias.
Exactly. And I think also people like Kirsty and myself as well, who, Kirsty has obviously had a job that meant a lot to her at that time that she met Craig. And I do shift work, I work full time. It's difficult to actually take the time to go out and meet people and stuff. So
I mean, well, hell, it took us 3 weeks to organise this.
Exactly. I have to book things into my schedule literally months in advance, with my work rosters. So I mean, online dating is a great place for people like us who are career driven, or are anxious. I'm anxious as well as career driven, so it might be an even better option for people like me. So that's pretty cool. People, I think a lot of the time, Kirsty was mentioning, one of the reasons that people sort of look down upon online dating and apps and stuff is that, people hide behind the screen, and there are a lot of pervs and creeps. And can I just say, they exist in real life all the time, everywhere.
Yeah,
that pervs and creeps are like universal constant.
So some of them are presidents of the country.
Exactly. And yeah,
I probably shouldn't say that. I'm going to America.
I mean, you're going to America, me. Hopefully the FBI aren't listening and not gonna ban you from their country. No, so I think we need to be careful all the time, not just online. Yes, more people hide behind a screen than, are outright creepy in real life, but it does happen, and when you get to know someone in real life, you think you know them, but sometimes they can turn around and be someone else as well. So that's
100%.
something to be said as well.
Yeah.
The last point that I sort of had about this is a benefit of online dating is that it's very easy to write a disclaimer or a statement like on your like a Tinder bio or something that states exactly what you're looking for, exactly when you want it, what you want, how you want it, and who you want it from, essentially. You can state your type, you can state anything, and no one really judges that. That's what a Tinder bio is for. That's what the description's for. In real life, if you sit down on like a first date, or as soon as you meet someone that you think, oh, damn, I like the look of that person, if you say, right, I want...
I get that all the time. People just look at me and go, damn, boy.
It's really strange to then turn around and go, hi, I really like you. I would like 3 kids by 2022, and I would like to keep my career, but also have... It's really confrontational, but I wish that we were able to do that, because I want to turn around and say to someone, I really like you. Are you looking for a serious long-term relationship with the potential of kids in the next, 6 or 7 years? And not have someone be like, oh my god, you're crazy, you're a psycho. Like, we can do that online, be like, I'm looking for this, and that's cool, that's great, that's what it's for.
Yeah, and then people can message you or not based on that information.
Exactly. People can say, yep, that's a match for me, or no, that's not what I'm into. Similarly, in real life, I mean, some people do, but it's a bit creepy to sort of be like, I'm looking for a one-night stand. Do you want to? But like online, it's here for a good time, not a long time. I have, that's what I mean. Sometimes people do it. And
have you been to swinger clubs?
And yes, when you're all in that kind of space, that consenting space, it's awesome to be able to interact like that with each other. But online, Tinder, here for a good time, not a long time. Easy. It works. Yeah, real life, not so much.
No. Cool. Yeah, no, so that was really cool. There's a lot of info to go through as part of that.
Yeah.
The next one that we're going to listen to is a really interesting one.
Oh gosh, I'm excited.
So the next one, it was literally just before you came in to have a chat. I recorded this one with Antonia, who had a bit of a Tinder nightmare.
Oh my goodness.
And we're going to have a listen to that now.
Awesome.
And we'll go from there.
Cool.
Okay, so welcome, Antonia. We're just going to get straight into it. Why don't you tell us your story, because it's one hell of a doozy of a story. So, just go ahead and tell us what happened.
Yeah, sweet. So, at the end of 2017, I'd had an ankle surgery, so I was like flicking around on Tinder because I was bored. I was up on my off my feet for like 8 weeks, and I come across this guy, started chatting, and he seemed real cool. So I was like, okay, well, we'll catch up. Like, no harm in catching up. So met up with him, and he was nice and, said all the right things, as, guys do sometimes. And sort of entered into a wee relationship. And that relationship got real intense from his side, like, straight away.
Right.
Like, pulling out the L word and stuff. And yeah, scary, right?
Yep.
So I was a bit apprehensive and met up with him a few more times, and he just became more and more and more intense. One day I was getting my nails done, and he called me like 17 times in 2 hours asking what I was doing.
Jesus.
So I kept going and getting my nails done. It takes like 2 hours. After that, so it was getting closer to Christmas time, so like the 23rd of December. Yeah. And my mate down in Ashburton was having a bit of Christmas shindig, and he was like, "Oh, come with you." And I'm like, you know what? This isn't working for me. You're too intense. I need you to back off. I need you to chill. And he was like, "I can't believe you're doing this to me," like broke down. And I was like, "Look, just leave me alone, please."
Yeah.
So I went down to my mate's in Ashburton for like her Christmas shindig, and we had a few drinks and stuff, and he was constantly ringing me and messaging me all night, and I was just ignoring it.
Yeah.
It got to about 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was a knock at my friend's door, and this is where it gets crazy. He had driven from Christchurch down to Ashburton, and found my car and found where my friend lived. So before that, he had no knowledge of where she lived.
Only slightly creepy.
A little bit creepy. So he like knocks on the door. My friend's now husband told him to, get out, leave. And then, Christmas rolls around and I sort of felt sorry for him. So I started messaging him again over Christmas. Suck it into the sort of gaslighting and the lies and the, oh, you're so, you're perfect. And it's, girls get sucked in like that. And, once again, he said all the right things. And I went on holiday to Golden Bay, so like 4 hours drive, and was messaging him, but there was no sort of relationship. And I accidentally sent a message to him that was to a friend in Nelson, and he went mental about it because I said, hey mate, just let me know when you're over the hill. And he automatically thought that I had this like other guy coming to see me, so he drove 4 hours to where I was camping and turned up.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so he's a total freak at this point. So we sort of were like, oh, I had my son there who was 7 at the time. So it's sort of like, you need to go, you need to back off. He did, he left after a few strong words from my dad. And so, holiday went well. I came back and I was at a mate's getting a tattoo and my phone rings. And I'm like, random, don't know that number. So I answer it and it's this girl and she's like, I hear you're dating, we're going to call him Bruce. And I was like, no, not dating him. Like, I called that off before Christmas. And she's like, well, I'm just letting you know that I'm his girlfriend and he's been living with me for 18 months. But there's not just you, there's 5 other women that he's been seeing.
What?
So at this point, I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I've just found out about it. Like, we went away at Christmas time together to his family, and he was like messaging all these girls, and I was like, oh, this is so bizarre. And I had it on speaker with my mate, and my mate is just like,
what the fuck?
We're just completely blown away by everything that's like she's saying. She's like, I've got 2 teenage kids. He lives with me. He drives my car. Nothing he's told you is true. And I was like, this is so weird. How did he get away with like leaving in the middle of the night to drive to Ashburton and driving 4 hours to Golden Bay, the top of the South Island, like to stalk me basically?
Well, not basically, it was stalking.
Well, it was, yeah, it was stalking, totally stalking. He's a freak. So yeah, I was like, oh my God. And she's like, can we meet up? And I was like, okay. And she's like, I just want to talk to you. And I'm like, that's sweet. So we arranged to meet up, and there was me, his girlfriend who'd been with him for, over a year, and then these 3 other girls that he'd been seeing. She managed to contact them all. And so we all met up at the mall, and then he like stalked us there.
That's probably not the best place to be in that situation.
Yeah, I know. And so we were like, what is this guy's problem? So yeah, like Tinder nightmare. I had loaned him a bit of money, and I was like, you need to pay me back. Not a lot, like $100, nothing much. But I was like, I want my $100 back. Like, you're a creep.
I'm going to guess you never saw the end of that. Oh, no, you did get it back.
No, I did. I got my money back. I may or may not have used a little bit of blackmail, but, you know, got to do what you got to do. Like I said, I will call the cops on you for stalking. Like, I've got evidence of you turning up and,
100%.
Yeah, so complete nightmare. He is still with one of these girls that was around, but didn't know the full story, and no one could contact her. Since then, I've contacted her and been like, he is dangerous. He's, he's all these things. He's moved to the North Island but refuses to come back to Christchurch because I think he knows that he'd be in a lot of trouble with some of the other girls. Yeah.
Most
contacts. Likely. Yeah, so... Oh, yeah, disastrous, but kind of funny, kind of Jeremy Kyle.
It's a little bit jazzer, isn't it?
Yeah, but it happened, and that's I'm in total disbelief. But I've not used Tinder or met anyone off Tinder since then.
I wonder why. I can't really blame you for that.
I can't blame myself either.
So I guess my main question from this though is how did he get away with it for I mean, I guess it was kind of a short while, really, wasn't it? But I feel as though he'd probably done this for a considerable amount of time with with the girl he'd been with for a year. How do you think he got away with it so well?
You know, if I
guess?
knew how he got away with it, I'd probably be the perfect criminal. Like, there was a lot of lies, and now that when you look back on it, you go, oh, he wasn't telling the truth about that. Oh, yeah, that was definitely a lie. Like, he'd say things like, oh, I've just got to go, he'd be, like, visiting, or we'd be, like, catching up, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, oh I've got to go meet up with my mate about something. And you'd be like, that's a little bit weird, but would you be like, oh, I don't believe you at the time when you're, like, potentially wanting to date someone?
Yeah, you want to be as trusting as you can, right?
Yeah, but it just goes to prove how sneaky, like, humans can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when, you know, something's going their way, and then when something doesn't go their way, how scary it can turn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't want to continue this. Oh, well, let me stalk you.
yeah, right. It's not exactly the most healthy thing.
It's not, no.
So obviously there was a few red flags here.
Yeah.
And you decided to overlook them, I guess, before the end of it. So there was the driving down to Ashburton, which for those who don't live in Christchurch, most of my listeners are American. It's about an hour to an hour and a half drive out of Christchurch. So he's driven that far and then searched for your vehicle.
Yeah, searched my vehicle.
Which is probably the creepiest part of it.
Yeah, and it's not like, it's my old vehicle, but it's not a car that, you know, they're super common. So he probably would have come across 10 of them. So. I mean, I guess
he probably knew your license plate number, to be fair.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if he's going to drive that far, you'd think you'd have a backup plan.
Yeah. So what were some of the other red flags, though?
I guess it's like that relationship that becomes super intense really fast as well.
Yep.
Like that whole popping out the L word and stuff. And I never responded with that word because there was no love there for me.
Yeah.
You know, and that it was almost like a clinginess, that 17 phone calls, like, what are you doing? Where are you at? Almost like showing a sign of guilt and what are you up to? Because what am I up to?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and then there was
sort of being overprotective because he knows what he's up to.
Yeah, he knows what he's up to.
Yeah.
And I guess other red flags are like little lies that I knew weren't true but I overlooked. Like, he lied about what sort of vehicle he owned. Like, he said he owned like a Mazda RX-2 and then would like show me pictures, but every picture would be different.
Right.
And like, I'm not silly.
Yeah.
I may be a girl, but I'm not silly. And I mean, I know my cars. So, you know, it's just all those little things. But I think the major red flag is for, you know, anyone that's meeting anyone off Tinder, is that relationship that you just know isn't right from the start. And like in your gut, you get that feeling. You're like, this isn't right. And I mean, I should have from the start been like, you need to back off. But, you know, I gave it a couple of months.
Yep.
And he, you know, when we found out about the other, you know, 5 girls and the girlfriend, all the women that he was seeing were super vulnerable.
Right.
At the time of meeting them. So,
for me, he's picked them out for that reason.
Yeah. So single mums, everyone was a single mum. And everyone had, so the girl that he was living with was in a wheelchair and was a single parent. One of the other mums had been off work with like a depressive episode and she was a single mum.
Right.
And then there was me who had like a major surgery.
He's chosen his targets.
Yeah. And like he obviously, you know, had his type. Who can I prey? Oh, I don't know if it was a prey thing or if that was just his attraction.
I think it's a prey thing.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
Yeah. And just for the last thing, I've kept you for almost a quarter of an hour already. Any advice for anybody else who is using Tinder and whatnot to try and find somebody so that they can avoid situations like this themselves?
I mean, just be super careful. Know that person like you do your own stalking. Stalk the hell out of them. Stalk their Facebook. Google their name. Mm-hmm. See if anything pops up. I mean, in a world today where Tinder is actually where people are meeting people and marrying them.
Yep.
I mean, I get that it works, but it's just be careful and know that person before you go making any sort of commitment. Don't go rushing into things.
Yeah. I think that's the key thing, and especially if they're pulling forward those words as much as they can very quickly, like the L word and things like that, then and you're not feeling that way, then it needs to be said straight up as well, and be like,
Yeah,
that's a bit intense. Just cool it a wee bit.
it is.
Yeah. I would also potentially argue gut feelings as well. So with those little lies and stuff, if somebody's telling little lies that literally mean nothing, then they're probably going to tell bigger ones.
Yeah, there's
somewhere.
probably always a bigger lie behind those little lies. Yeah.
Yeah. So be aware of that. Anyway, I'll let you get back to work because you did take a little bit of a break to talk to me. I do really appreciate it.
No, that's all good.
It has been our third attempt, so we've gotten there. Everything's all good. Thank you very much.
No, that's all good. Thanks, Simon.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. So, yeah, that's a story that happened.
I had to ask if I'm allowed to swear on this because holy fuck, that was crazy.
That was an absolute fucking roller coaster.
Holy shit. Oh, poor lady. Like, oh man.
Well, where do you start with this?
I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, where? Just where?
Yeah, because I have to say, when I put the call out on Facebook, like I said, Antonia answered it.
Yeah.
And she just said, I dated a guy who had 5 girls.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, that'll be a fun story.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about
that happened.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I know. Oh my goodness. Like, yeah, I looked at the comments on your post just to see what sort of things we'd have to talk about, what sort of stories that were that would appear on the podcast, and I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, just going to be one of those. One guy's got 5 chicks on the go and he's sort of casually dating them all and trying to get away with it. Sneaky bastard, like usual stuff. But that is not the usual stuff. That is way out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna guess I'll start from the beginning of my points about this Bruce character. Let's call him that.
I'm not sure he deserves a name.
No, he doesn't. Dickbag. Let's call him that. So
a bag of dicks could be.
I mean, that could be a bit of fun.
Exactly.
And he is not fun. Okay.
No.
Fuckstain. This fuckstain is.
Yeah, fuckstains are never good.
Yeah.
You have to clean them.
They hang around and they won't go away.
We call them Tank.
Oh my god! Oh, what a story! What a throwback! Man, I actually not forgot about that, but it goes to the back of the mind. That was a time.
To be fair, it's probably not too different.
No, it wasn't actually, and the fact that he ended up getting deported.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Man, no, this character, the first thing that I had to say was it's so manipulative when people use the L word to get others to act in a certain way or to do certain things,
or to feel guilty,
or to
for
feel
not saying it back.
guilt. Exactly, it's just disgusting. That is. Love is it's not a thing to be thrown around lightly, not just saying it, but the feeling itself. It's such a strong feeling, and I don't know, it's very, very sickening actually that someone thinks so little of love that they can use it as a manipulation tool. That it's so disrespectful. And good on Antonia for not saying it back when it wouldn't be honest. I really respect 100%. That, and I wish more people out there would be like that. Be honest with your feelings. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, but I'm not at that point yet, but maybe in the future, I would like to be at that point, or I'm not sure when I will be because of A, B, C. Mm-hmm. I myself have a difficult past, so I'm reluctant to say that word.
Yeah.
But I would love to, one day I would absolutely really like to, but.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's daunting.
It is, and it's such a scary thought, and it's such a wild time being in love with someone.
In saying that though, I'll say that to friends and stuff. There's platonic love, and then
definitely
there's partnerly love.
Yeah, romantic, deep sort of love.
I'm not sure about romantic even either. I think that's a whole different thing.
Different thing, yeah.
As opposed to somebody who's your companion.
That's true. That's true. There are so many different types of love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. I do say that to my friends, and then there's familial love and all that kind of stuff. But no, we've
what's that?
Yeah, I was just about to say, not that I have any experience with that, but some people are lucky enough to have that. No, my friends for me are both platonic and familial love. My friends are my family, and I love them like family. No, we've all been suckered into that kind of thing, unfortunately. Hindsight is 20/20, and you look back and you see all those red flags. with someone and you think, why the fuck didn't I do something?
Yeah, how did I not know
How
this?
did I not see this? Or why did I choose to look past it? But when you're in that feeling, and Antonia says when you want to be dating someone, you don't want to freak out or do something in case you're wrong as well. Like, I found it really weird that you did this, and they're like, actually, it's just because of this simple explanation. And you're like, oh, bother. I've made a terrible mistake. But no, I think everybody can relate to being suckered into that feeling and falling into the trap of someone who appears a certain way but isn't. We've all been there. Like, it's about living and learning, and it sounds like she has. She sounds like a very strong, capable woman, and I'm really glad, actually. Like, that aside, and this is nothing about Antonia as a person. Yeah. But I'm so glad that there were people there. There were other people there when this Bruce character turned up.
Yeah.
Like at the house, like her dad was.
Yeah, because who knows what else could have happened.
Who knows? And it's not to say that Antonia couldn't defend herself. I mean, we all like to think that we can, but you never know. If the person's going to turn up with something or with someone else, or in a drug addled and really dangerous. And I'm just glad that the friend's partner was there and her dad was there at another time to sort of back her up and be a presence that's nice and intimidating. Yeah. No, she's lucky, but no, you do never know what's going to happen. Yeah, I guess it's one of those. This is one of the examples that we were mentioning earlier after Kirsty's story of one of the creeps that do lurk behind the screen. I mean, they do exist.
And put up this front that they're a good guy,
a great person, and to 5 different people.
And they've given that intention to those people. He's sat there and gone, this is who I'm going to be to these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then portrayed it as such.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, even if he wasn't using Tinder or a dating app, maybe he would have tried some other avenue in real life. Maybe he would have, sat at the local cafe and preyed on a certain type that he saw come in. He's going to do it in real life as well. The app is kind of just an enabler, but it's not the cause of this kind of behaviour. And I think some people get that confused.
Yeah, well, people can do this in person as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to be, and even occasionally still am unintentionally now, but back in the day I was a manipulator, and I could manipulate quite easily and get people around to talk to the way that I wanted them to be.
Yeah.
And to align themselves with what I thought.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't do that on purpose anymore.
Yeah,
I've still noticed a couple of occasions where I've sat there and gone, you know what, that's actually quite a shit thing to do.
I mean, you have the ability to look at your behaviour and think, actually, I don't want to be like that. If this person hasn't got there.
This guy just went, he's been completely selfish with it and gone, I'm obviously doing this. Surely he must realise that he's been doing it. Because it seems like it's a purpose.
Yeah.
It's a purposeful thing that he's done. And he just hasn't given a shit about anyone else.
Exactly. It's that lack of empathy, the sort of lack of theory of mind that hasn't really developed in him, that he can't put himself in other shoes and think, how would I feel if someone, followed me around the country?
Especially with the stalking angle. Because like I said in that chat, it's 100% stalking.
Definitely.
Travelling an hour and a half and then hunting for her car.
Yep. That you must know in yourself that it's not okay.
If it's an address, the address, that's one thing. But he's obviously looked gone up and down streets and gone all over the place looking for her vehicle.
Made note of someone's license plate. Like, for a start, I could name you my license plate. I could not name you any of my ex's license plates. Even though, I've lived with a couple of them and they were parked in, my driveway for a few months. I couldn't name them at all. Like that, it's not something you take note of either, unless you have a photographic memory or you want to keep it for future reference for something sinister. I don't know. It's a very interesting mentality, and I think the criminal justice side of me, I work with young sexual offenders, and that's going to be a podcast for another time.
It is, and I can't wait for that. That's going to be super interesting.
Got some interesting points actually to bring up about offending sort of mentality, especially sexual offending mentality. And I'm very interested from that perspective about this person and his motives and his way of thinking. Obviously, he has to know in himself that that kind of thing is not okay, but because he's managed to do it with 5, 6 different people, and they've all believed that he is a genuine, a good person, and that his intentions are honest. But I'm interested to see if there's been a sort of type that he's targeted, especially with looks. That seems to be.
Yeah, well, that hasn't been with looks, but like what was said in there.
Yeah.
He's targeted the single mothers.
The ones he sees as weaker, able to be.
The wheelchair.
Yeah.
Another one had, I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But there was certainly a type with the single mother in vulnerable positions.
Yes.
There was one with the depressive episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's made clear what his targets are in that regard, I think.
Ones he sees as sort of, these are likely to be more needy and have a space for someone like me who can swoop in and sort of save the day.
Or easily manipulated.
A bit more vulnerable, but sort of weaker types, if you will.
For lack of a better term, really. Yeah.
And I mean, in that respect, it makes sense that he's chosen it. Unfortunately for these poor women, that is who he's chosen because of that, and it does make sense.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how he met the other women. Was it all online? Was it all through the same app with the same profile?
I'm
was it?
Yeah. As well.
Did he meet some of them in real life?
I get the feeling it would have been an online thing initially.
Yeah, I think so.
Because how can you target single mothers and whatnot if it's not an online thing? If you get what I'm saying, it'd be much more difficult to go after the type that he's going after.
Yeah.
If it's more in person.
Definitely.
It's also more difficult, I think, to begin that manipulative process in person.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think he's seen, especially for these types, a lack of maybe self-esteem, and that's when the manipulative side of him can come in and go, I'm going to build these people up so they have a certain feeling towards me, they feel warmer towards me, they feel safer around me. Absolutely disgusting that he's obviously done that, but they feel safer around me and they're more likely to do what I want, obviously using the L word to get in there and make them feel a certain way towards him. So he's got them in the palm of his hand. Like, that's kind of offender 101.
Yeah. It's just
kind of
disgusting.
Stuff. It is. It is. And I'm very sorry that these people have experienced that, and I'm hoping that they can use this to feel stronger as people, that they've come out of this and can use it to help others maybe who are maybe in a similar position, and know that they know the signs now, and they won't be able to they won't fall into that trap again, really.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, I really do hope so, and it's eye-opening to share this story for people who might be trying online dating for the first time, and so they can recognise some signs as well. Yeah. I don't know. It's shit. This is shit.
It's not the most uplifting of stories. This one, but
no.
I did want a mix of both good and bad experiences when talking about this, because it's only fair to see.
For sure.
To see both sides. So I'm really, really happy to have that story on here and put the awareness of what can potentially happen out there.
Yeah, definitely.
So on a brighter note, let's move on to our final.
Awesome.
Our final one.
Awesome.
And hopefully this one's a lot nicer. So this is with two friends of mine, one of which has already been on the podcast when I interviewed about online relationships. And so that's Sam and his partner Holly. Cool. Not the online part.
Okay.
But they did meet online.
Cool.
In a bit of a different kind of way. It wasn't through Tinder, it wasn't through NZ Dating, but we'll find that out as we go through.
Cool.
So let's have a quick listen to that and see how we get on from there. Okay, so now we're going to talk to Holly and Sam, who have met online as well. So tell me how you guys met.
After you. It's all your fault.
I
messaged Sam's profile on FetLife. He seemed quite interesting, and I thought, well, I'd like to get to know this person a bit better, so I'll message them and maybe I'll hear back.
Yeah. I mean, I've written a few things on FetLife, which Holly apparently liked and messaged me, and I was like, wow, this is out of the blue? Probably a catfishing scam. What have I got to lose by messaging back? And it wasn't a scam, I hope. Long game.
Speaking of which, how goes catfish? So cool. There's going to be a few people. Most of my listeners are going to know what FetLife is. They that way inclined. But for those who don't, what's FetLife?
Kink Facebook, basically. It's a social media site.
With less creeps.
Well, yeah. Like, there's still a fair few creeps, but just due to the penetration and what the kink community is like. Yeah, I'm going to put as many puns in here to make Sam happy as possible. I'd describe it as very much like a kink Facebook with a much lower budget because it's not entirely driven by ads. So you create a profile, you list the things you're into, your likes, your interests, you make friends, you have a whole bunch of relationship settings, a whole bunch, because my god, the kink circle has so many terms and terminology that you use. And then you can post pictures, you can post posts, some stories, writings, things like that, and people can react to them. Well, there's only basically one react, which is love or not.
But you can comment too.
Yeah, you can comment. Yeah.
It's basically Twitter. And that side
and there's private messaging, of course, and you can also interact on forums.
Join groups. Of
like-minded people.
And
whatnot. And of course you can add on your profile your list of fetishes.
Yeah, it's a very common thing to do. Is like there's a lot of fetish tests in what you're into.
And not just that. What I love about it is there's no limits to the kind of relationships you can have, or people, or people that you have relationships with.
Yeah, it's amazing because on Facebook you've got to take advantage of like a programming error to be able to do that.
You have to put it into life events or something.
I'm in a life event, polyamorous relationship. Yeah, cool. Whereas on FetLife, it's like I want to be in 30 different kinds of relationship with 50 different kinds of people. And FetLife's like, cool. People are just going to have to scroll through them when they visit your profile. That's the only limit, really. It's very open and adaptable in that way, which is really great.
Yeah. So you guys have been together for about, 8 months now or so?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
So in this, you're one of the shorter relationships, but I still want to talk to you guys because I know you guys and you're lovely and it's fun.
And we said yes. So,
and you said yes, and didn't make things difficult for me. Well, maybe a little bit. You're 2.5 hours late.
For this weekend, that's not too bad.
Yeah, there was some poor planning this weekend. Anyway.
Well, there's some very good planning at the same time.
Yeah. So you're both poly, right?
Yeah. We were both polyamorous when we first met.
Okay, so that sort of helped out because one of you is married and the other is not, but has other relationships as well, correct?
Yep.
Which is awesome, but we won't go into that just yet. Just in general, though, what are your thoughts around sort of online dating and sort of apps and all of that sort of thing?
I think it's pretty awesome that you don't have to go out to a bar and meet some person who
in a state of inebriation.
You can get to know someone before you actually agree to meet them. And I mean, okay, you stand the chances of them not actually being that person that you got to know because they were acting the part, or they were a scam, or they were catfishing, or whatever.
But to be fair, you've got that meeting in person for a lot of those factors. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can figure out if you have a connection before you actually meet. Which with Sam, we figured out pretty quickly that we had a connection.
Yeah.
I think not pre-internet, but pre-dating apps and that sort of thing. It's I feel as though it's very much here's a friend of mine, you'll love them sort of thing, as opposed to not really getting any real information.
You were required on either meeting someone at a bar, which you probably went to with friends, or meeting a friend of a friend, like the high school circle weird
Yes.
thing
Yeah.
is quite a relevant factor. Or you meet someone through your job, which is never a good idea. Or
Yeah, don't date people at work.
yeah, don't screw the group. Never do that. Yeah, so I think the dating apps, like as we've previously spoken about last one as well, it just opens your circle in such a wider sense. And as you say, you can meet people on shared interests. So it's like, if nothing else, we've got one thing we can awkwardly talk about on a date first time. And it also allows you to see, like being brutally honest, you can Facebook stalk them a fair bit and go like, is this person who they say they are, or have they at least put effort into the scam? Or, and you're like, do I know someone who knows them unexpectedly so I can suss them out? Or go, oh, I don't want to deal with that person. Yeah.
But in saying that, there's been a lot of cases that I've read about where people have seen somebody on Tinder, like predominantly, I'm not saying all the time, predominantly a male sees a female on Tinder and goes, gee, she's quite attractive, does the swipe right thing, but then goes and friends them on Facebook. And that's something that I think is quite weird.
There isn't like an established social etiquette. It's like, oh, I've seen you on Facebook. I'm not going to show up outside your house and reverse Google stalk you. But I've seen you on Tinder, so I'm going to hunt you down on Facebook. And because a lot of those dating apps do use Facebook as a verification process, it's like, yeah, am I putting myself out there on both platforms or on one? Because, like, what if I'm, like, for a lot of people, saying, like, you know, what if I'm on Tinder to meet someone, but I'm actually in the death throes of another relationship or in another relationship and I'm not poly? Yeah, like, there's this whole unspoken thing of what's okay to explore and what's not.
I think if you're on Tinder, you're on Tinder. That's it. I don't think there's a right for anybody to
you
go
don't-
and try and friend them on Facebook or
Yeah.
anything like
Yeah.
that. I think that's quite weird and a little bit
Yeah.
creepy, because if you swipe right, then
I'm saying I'm
for
interested.
example, I'm saying I'm interested. If you don't get that like back, then it's not going to happen, regardless of whether you friend them on Facebook or any other.
Yeah. Like, we're on, like, as on all our dating apps, you both have to like to trigger that connection.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the relevant point of consent. If you don't even have that, it's basically like going, well, you seem interested, you seem available on Tinder, I can now be a creep.
Yeah.
In a very bad way on Facebook.
And again, just before this recording, we listened to a song called The Creep, and that's just popped into my head.
Yeah, I did just set Simon up to laugh. So I'm sorry for that. Whereas, like, on FetLife as an example, there isn't actually any connection to another social media presence. A lot of people do post it there as well, which I'd say is kind of consent. They say, look me up on Instagram or look me up on Facebook. But yeah, so...
But then there's
You
the
can,
offers out there for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But like also you can set your photos to private or public.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
a lot of my photos on FetLife are set to friends only. And so random people don't see my face.
Yeah, and can't just identify you off on the internet. Yeah.
Which
I
is
don't even think we're
really
friends on
nice.
FetLife, are we?
Oh my god, we're not.
I don't think we are.
Okay, you can.
Yeah, we're
To be fair, I think I've got like
You can
6
friend me.
friends on FetLife and my profile's pretty open. So.
So moving on to what we're actually meant to be talking about.
Yeah.
Why does it work for some people? Why does it, like, you hear a lot of, I think The Rock do a segment called Tinder Surprise, which is just all about
They totally stole that off the Switch website, but yeah.
But you know, so why is it so prevalent that it works? Obviously, it's worked for you guys, not Tinder, but online.
Yeah.
Why do you think? And the other part of this is you hear stories of people who just never get matches as well.
Yep.
Why does it work for some people and not for others? Is it the way that you set it up? Is it your face? Is it what?
I'd say, like, from my personal experience at least, there's 2 aspects to it. One is, how honest are you, and how much do people like what you're honest about? So, like, Bumble's a great example. Bumble, which I thoroughly support in every way. It's a really great
Bumble.
feminist app. It's got a lot of really good logical progression behind it, and the way you interact and things like that. And they actually try, like, to be a socially good service.
I love how they blur the photos. You have to click on it to look at it, so you don't have to see,
Yes, if someone,
So if somebody likes you, It's blurred.
It's pixelated out, which doesn't stop you necessarily looking and going, oh, I can probably match that if I see the unblurred photo in just the general stream of, do I like this person or not?
At that point, I think it's.
It's once you're matched when you're private messaging and you send each other photos.
Yeah,
they're blurred.
Sorry.
So no, but like they censor, like they have an algorithm or something that goes through all the photos that you submit onto your profile. So like I submitted a meme which was a screenshot of a chat conversation.
Yeah.
And so they removed that because it was a screenshot.
It wasn't a photo of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I do have a meme that's not a screenshot, it's just a comic, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But because this one was a screenshot of the conversation, it was not okay.
Yeah. They do quite a lot to prevent doxing and stuff like that.
They're quite careful. Sorry. So why does it work for some? I think it works, like just online dating in general, works for people who know what they're looking for. If you don't know what you're looking for, then I think the people you match with, you don't know what you're looking for from them, and it's hard to find the level in which you're going to connect.
Yeah. Welcome to blind dating, but with a phone.
Yeah.
As the risk you run into, I think you say, like, you don't know what you're looking for, so what you get is not going to be what you want necessarily.
Yeah.
With me, I think when it does work, it works because the person who's attracted to you, they've attracted you because they've been upfront, they've gone, this is what I'm into, and you're like, cool, we connect on these points.
I mean, I don't think we put that straight out there straight away as a group, unless we're actually on FetLife, the three of us.
That's true.
I would not put my list of what I'm into on my Bumble.
Bumble profile. Here are my fetishes. I've hit the word limit, and it's only 2 in. But so I think there's two levels to online dating. There's the hookup culture, which cool, it works. I'm into this person, this person into me, let's do it. Or there's the
let's get it on.
Yeah, let's get it on. Marvin Gaye plays in the background. But and then there's the other side, which is the Bumble to a point, the FetLife, things like that, where it's these are the things I'm into as a person, and you can go if you're in those circles and if you're in that knowledge, you can go pretty carefully. Nope, doesn't match me. Not going to waste our time. Does match me. Cool, let's roll the dice. Where it doesn't work, I think, comes down to people go looking for what they want, but they don't portray what they are to be seen in reverse. There's a great argument that Bumble, if you don't have anything on your profile and you're not stunningly attractive, you're going to get swiped left a lot. Whereas if you do have interesting stuff on your profile and you are stunningly attractive, you're going to get swiped right more. If you have interesting stuff on your profile and you're honest in your photo, like you look like the person in your photos, you're still going to get a lot more hit rates. I have some pretty firm rules in photos. I'm not going to lie, I judge pretty hard. If the first photo is them holding like a wine glass and looking kind of drunk at a bar, it's going to get a hard right from me as a teetotaler. It's just like
isn't right.
Oh yeah, hard left. Whatever the bad one is. I'm a southpaw. I always think left is good.
I just kind of go like, I sort of start to swipe one direction and then go, oh no, that's not the one I want, and swipe in the other direction.
That's not the X. Yeah.
That's not the one I'm with.
Yeah.
Okay. I chose poorly.
Okay, cool. Cool. Thanks for that, guys. That's all sweet. Okay, so that was Holly and Sam.
Yep.
I think that one's really quite difficult to sort of go in depth with because they sort of went in depth themselves.
They did, yeah.
They're both very intelligent people who know what they're talking about.
They seem like very intelligent, educated people. They've got some really good ideas about this. They've obviously had a bit more experience, in the online side of things and the relationship side of things. It was quite evident. I sort of have a bit less to say because they kind of talked about it themselves. But I still got some other points to bring up, I guess. My first one is I think it's quite interesting that the relationships from FetLife. I don't know. I'm on FetLife, mate. Well, was on FetLife a few years ago. Still need to go back. I just haven't been there for a while. Faded out of the scene. But in my opinion, it's not usually the place to foster relationships. I guess it's not what people go in for with their intent. It's sort of it's quite a sex focused in a very good way, and an outlet for people's creativity and to express themselves. It doesn't seem to me like the sort of place that people go in looking for relationships. It's sort of the place that it happens as a byproduct of sharing your creativity on there. People on FET usually message each other or meet up to share kink or have scenes or play together for play partners and stuff, and people, I don't know, don't often go there with the intent of a romantic relationship. So it's really cool actually that they've managed to find that. That's really awesome. And obviously, yeah, like Sam said, they knew they had common kinks, and because it's somewhere you can easily advertise what your kinks are, what your fetishes are, and you know right off the bat if someone's a match for you or not, in that respect. Yeah, Holly talked about the convenience aspect. That was the first point that she mentioned about about online dating apps and websites and stuff. Yeah. Which is very true. I mean, you can be dating from the comfort of your own home, essentially. You know, online window shopping, scrolling 100%. Through. It's so good. It's such a good time filler. And you know, especially on a place like FetLife, you can be looking and be stimulated in other ways as well as, you know, eye candy. You can, you know, the fetishes are interesting. You can be, you know, reading really cool stories on FET. I love. There's a FET user called Insipid Sky, and I just love reading her stories. She's amazing. So it's a place where you can do all at once from the comfort of your own home, which I really like. And yeah, Holly mentioned, just like I said before, you can figure out a connection before meeting, so you have something to talk about. Yeah. When you're,
because first meetings are awkward as
well. Oh my god, yes.
No matter what situation, whether it's like a first blind date, even a first date in general, after you know somebody out, can be really awkward.
So
to find things to
anxious, and you never know if you're going to you're always worried about making the right impression. But yeah, if
whether you got something stuck in your teeth.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. If you smell funny, like if your hair's all messed up, you know, like. It's a very nerve-wracking experience, but if you've found that connection elsewhere, especially on a place like FET where it's very sort of focused interests, you know that they're the sort of person who's open. You know, they're usually an interesting character if they're into that sort of thing, so you can have that connection better than, you know, Tinder, where it's like common interests might be a particular TV show or a certain activity like dance or something, which is great to talk about, but it's not
tough to get an hour out of
definitely
a TV
show, yeah, or a movie or something.
Whereas with kinks, obviously you sort of end up going down a wormhole, with that.
Definitely.
Going, what about this? But then what about this? And
exactly.
This is amazing.
And share
I'm not a big fan of that.
And share your personal stories and stuff. And what have you done? What have I done? You know, what have I heard about? What would I like to do? You know, I've got these fantasies, and I know that I'm safe to explore them with you, because you're from that same background as well. Yeah, one thing I do, it's happened to me before. I think you said it. Is it's really, really creepy when people message you on Facebook after matching on Tinder, or not matching, they've just sort of scrolled past you. They've liked you, you haven't liked them back. And then you get this message. Yeah, you pop in your, hey, I saw you on Tinder. It's like, I don't know you. I've never seen you. Obviously, we didn't match. That's super creepy. And I've had that happen to me a couple of times.
I don't like I said to Sam in the episode, I don't understand the thought process behind that. Because if it's not a match, then they're not going to be interested.
Exactly.
No matter how hard you try or what you do.
Exactly. That obviously, and I said that I had a bit of a rant at someone because I got a message request on Facebook, and it said, my Tinder profile at the time was kinky, dance interested, like a dancer, musician, just general stuff. I'm not afraid of sharing that I'm kinky, especially at that time when I didn't have, you know, the job aspect to worry about. These days I'd probably hide it a bit more. But yeah, I'm never afraid to share that with people. Yeah. But yeah, so I got a message in my request and it said, so where's my kinky little slut or something like that. And I was like, hi, who are you? And he's like, I saw you on Tinder. And I was like, okay. Obviously we didn't match for a very good reason. And I said that to him. I said, obviously we didn't match. I'm not interested in you, so I really don't understand why you've messaged me thinking that, you know, maybe I made a mistake or something. And I said, this is super creepy. Please don't message me again. And he kept messaging back with, oh, just relax, love. You know, it's just a, you know, the typical, like, oh, you know, haha,
Laissez-faire.
just, yeah, exactly, just totally too casual about it. Like, oh, just relax, you know,
Didn't
don't
think that he'd
freak
done
out.
anything wrong.
Exactly. Like it's all my fault for freaking out and he was just having a laugh or something, or he thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, no, this isn't, nothing about this is okay. Leave me alone. And I blocked him, etc., etc., and, you know. But people do that a lot. That's happened to me a couple of times, and it's just creepy.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I use different photos on Tinder to Facebook, so people can't. I mean, they'll probably recognize my face if they tried hard enough, but if they're really, you know, that desperate. But I do use different photos. Oh, thanks. But no, I do use different photos, so it's not going to come up on Facebook as my profile picture, and I do have the other photos hidden and stuff. But it's kind of sad that I have to do that.
Yeah.
Because of people like
I agree.
that. I don't know. That's just creepy as.
People are just weird.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested in the thought process behind that.
Me too.
Like, okay, we haven't matched. I'll flick them a message on Facebook. Maybe they'll
change their mind.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll impress them by the fact that I remembered who they are and am so interested that they'll turn around and go, oh, this guy's really interested, or this girl's really interested in me. Obviously I'm special. They think I'm special. What? No.
No. Just no.
Just I don't know. There are so many better ways to impress someone, but if that's someone's idea of impressing another human being, then it's quite sad the way they've been brought up. Maybe the way they've been socialized to think that that's how you impress people. Is by kind of stalking them. Not cool.
I blame the police.
Yeah.
By the way, the band, not. The
Oh my god! I was like, what did the cops have to do?
No, the band. The police.
Yes.
Every breath you take,
every breath you take.
Every breath you take. I've been watching you.
It's a popular song.
No,
Not many
I
people.
was actually listening to a true crime podcast the other day. I won't name the name because I don't have the rights to whatever.
Yep.
And the words to that song actually spoke to a guy on there who was stalking somebody, and he didn't think that he was stalking them. He just was infatuated at that point.
Yeah.
And he thought that this song spoke to him. And
no, that's not good.
I know.
It's a song literally about a stalker.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that. I heard one of my friends was singing along the other day, like, they said to me, these lyrics are kind of weird. Like, it's not very romantic. I was like, it's not supposed to be. It's literally about a stalker. He's like, oh, really? And really. A lot of people just think it's a romantic song about. But you're right. That's part of the problem is people hear these messages like that's what you do if you're interested. You know, all those romantic movies. Like if a girl says no, try until she says yes. I was like, no, just how about you respect?
And I've said that a few times on this podcast.
Yeah.
If you go and try it, this is the point where you don't. And there was a great meme about it actually. I saw, it was a fair while ago now.
Yeah.
That a boy went up to his mother and went, I asked this girl out today, and she rejected me. And the mother turned around and said, okay, so what do you do then? And the kid turns around and goes, well, I keep trying. The mother goes, no. She said no. If she's interested, if she changes her mind and she's interested, she knows that you're interested now. She'll come to you.
Yep.
Just let that happen.
Yep. Definitely.
And to me, that's fantastic parenting.
That should be, it should be normalised. Like, that should be what everyone thinks.
100%. It doesn't make sense to me when people just keep hounding once they've said no.
Yeah.
So I get rejected a lot. There's no two ways about it. I find a lot of people very attractive. And it's mainly because of who they are, not what they look like and that side of things. Some people have that added bonus of being aesthetically pleasing, but that's not the key point of it.
Yeah.
And I get turned down a lot, and I sit there and go, fair enough. Like, I like myself a lot. I can understand how people like me.
Yep.
I can understand how people don't like me.
Yep.
Because I actually dislike people that are similar to me.
There you go. That's a really interesting self-awareness there.
Well, I don't think self-awareness is as difficult as people try and make it out to be.
People make it out to be, absolutely.
If you just sit there and go, okay, so why?
Yeah.
And
just acceptance. It's not about judging yourself. It's about accepting. Like, I've been rejected before in the old...
Which fucking surprises the shit out of me.
It doesn't surprise me, but I don't know myself very well. But no, the old me was like, oh my god, I am the worst person ever. If someone rejects me, I am disgusting. I'm obviously hideous. I'm obviously super annoying and stupid. And yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of women especially think that way. But no, I've learned to go, yep, that's fine. I respect that I'm not their type, because I think about the people that I've, not rejected. I don't like that word very much, but I've, turned down or said thanks but no thanks. And they're awesome people. Like, there's nothing, wrong with them. Yeah. They're attractive or.
I'm pointing to myself in this situation because this has happened.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with you. We just, don't. Some people just don't fall over, Peter. There's nothing wrong with these people. They may be attractive. They may be super awesome, kind, funny, lovely people. But there's nothing that I feel. Thanks. Yeah, well, there you go. But there's, and other people towards me, there might be nothing wrong with me that they see. But we just don't work. And that is fine. And I respect that. And I can just accept it and move on. Or maybe there is something about me that I'm like, maybe that needs a bit of work.
And there's no point in trying to force the point.
Exactly.
If there's something in someone's brain going, not for me.
Yep.
And you're trying to force the point, if it happens, eventually then it's going to fall over pretty quickly as well.
Exactly.
It's not just going to sit there and be a box of fluffies for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Or very, very, very unlikely that it would be anyway.
And you're probably going to accidentally portray the wrong side of yourself as well. Yeah. Because if at first someone doesn't like you for who you are, maybe, this is what they'd like, and they'd say yes to this, so I'm going to try and change this about myself, or lie about a certain part of myself, or hide something about myself, and then it's going to be a relationship based on lies.
Interesting on that though, the changing part of yourself. I don't think that's a negative.
Not always.
Changing part of it. What I think is the negative is changing it for that person.
Yes.
So say they've turned you down because of X reason.
Yeah.
If you change that reason, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you change that reason and then you go back to the person and say, hey, I've changed who I am, they're going to sit there and be like, nah, no.
Yeah, exactly. It is a bit creepy.
Because I like to get feedback as to why people reject me. That's just something that I like to know for myself.
Yeah.
And I'll sit there and go, okay, these are the reasons. Any of these, if I can change them, make me a better person in my day-to-day life.
For sure.
And if I can become a better person from somebody saying no to me, then that's fine.
That's awesome.
If somebody sits there and goes, I'm just not feeling it, that's fine.
Yep.
There's no issues with that.
Yep. Definitely.
And I think it just takes a little bit of emotional maturity to be able to deal with that sort of thing.
You're absolutely right. And I wish this kind of maturity was more mainstream and that more people were able to think that way about themselves. Yeah. So what you were just talking about was sort of like the loving people or being attracted to people for who they are instead of because I'm quite similar to you in that respect, and so towards the end of Sam and Holly's interview, Sam was talking about the different combos on apps and websites and stuff, and what people are likely to swipe for and who's likely to get the most matches. So you've got the attractive face, physically attractive person, but if they have no bio on Tinder, for me that's a hard no. That's an immediate nah. If you can't be bothered to explain a bit about yourself, maybe you have got no personality, maybe there's not much interesting about you, maybe you feel like you can get away with looks alone, which I think is a little bit cocky, and I'm not attracted to that. Please share a bit about yourself, but if they're not very attractive physically, or maybe a bit average, sounds really harsh talking about people like that, but they've got a really awesome bio, I will definitely swipe for that if I feel like it's a match based on their bio. If they've got some really interesting things to say and they have a good way with words and they've got nice interests, I am more likely to swipe to that than a hot person with no bio.
And this is where it's going to be great, because we're going to review my Tinder profile at the end of this.
Okay, awesome.
You've already had a quick
look. I've had a look.
I've got it up in front of us as well, so you can
be
reminded for it, and you can talk to people through it as well.
For sure, I will.
But continue.
And then so you've got like the golden ratio, like hot person, nice face, good body, etc., etc.
This is a Venn diagram.
It is. That's kind of how I was imagining it, like a Venn diagram with, I don't know. I'm not a maths person, but like with four options.
Hotness versus.
Yeah, like an axis thing. So
versus what's on their profile.
Yeah, exactly. Like personality or the words they say, plus physical attractiveness. So you've got the golden ratio, the ideal is hot person, really good bio. So away with words, good interests, personality. They've got, they obviously they want to share themselves with other people. They pride themselves on who they are, and they're blessed to be born looking nice, and they take care of themselves, and they look good. That's perfect. So that's obviously going to get the most matches, and that makes complete sense.
Now that's interesting though, because I was listening to, I can't remember what it was that I was listening to. It might have been a podcast, but they were saying that like the really super attractive people get less likes because people are intimidated.
Maybe that's why I didn't have any success. Just rate myself for a minute there.
No, I'll probably agree with that too. Is that still going?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I'm just getting it's melting the back of the chair.
But yeah, so the ones that are like, say Beyonce's on Tinder, for example.
Yeah.
That most
too hot,
like ones that are too hot.
Like they'll never be into me.
People, they don't get as many matches because it can be quite fucking intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. So like it.
But I would agree with that. If you've got somebody who's attractive and has good information on their profiles, sort of go. I'm definitely more inclined to get to know them a little bit better,
or at least give it a go. Because the good thing about Tinder is you can press like, and they can't see. I think on the basic version, they can't see who's liked them or not. No, so there's kind of no judgment. And in real life, you're right. You'd see a really attractive person. And if they've got great personality, you'd be like, they are way too good for me. I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to hit on them.
In saying that, though, sorry to interrupt.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Sydney, for me, a couple of episodes ago, and I know a lot of people listen to that episode. It was a lot of fun. Lauren's yet to.
I am looking forward to it.
But she's going to.
I will.
This. There was a girl who I just insane.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. And I was sitting there going, I have zero chance. And to be fair, I was thinking this a lot of the time in this swingers club because there's just beautiful people everywhere, and I'm just like, I am a potato compared to these people.
I know.
Obviously, I'm not. Like, I do actually consider myself decent. I wouldn't say I'm.
Yeah.
I used to be much more cocky than I am now, though. And I ended up being able to play with all of these people. Wow. And it was just such a wonderful experience. And it was only my own hang-ups.
Yeah. That held you back.
That held me back from just going and doing these things.
Exactly. Never know until you try it.
Yeah, exactly. So it matters what other people think of you in this situation rather than you sitting there going, oh, but this and this and this and this.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the comparison I was going to make between online apps, etc., versus real life is like, I think online you sort of see they've chosen not to put any description that corresponds to someone in real life who might have the face and the body to go with it, but doesn't have the brains or the spark, the person, the character.
I swear there's nothing more disappointing.
It's so disappointing than
seeing
an empty box.
And then they're like a piece of cardboard.
Exactly. It's so annoying, and it's like, what a shame. You're putting that lovely exterior to waste. But I mean, that sounds really harsh. I'm not going to say that again. But no. But I think online you'd. Especially if you're on an app for sexual reasons, I guess you're more likely to go, yeah, well, whatever. No bio, just gonna go for it. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they've got no personality. Yeah, it really does. But yeah, it's still interesting to see that. Yeah, even on an app where you know that there's going to be more to the person. You know, there's only so many words that you can put. It's still interesting.
But
that
there's going to be keywords that are put in there that pique your interest instead. And you go, oh, that's going to be cool to talk about. Or
exactly.
What's that? I want to know more about that.
Yeah, we see something in the background of a photo. You're like, oh, I wonder what, you know, I want to talk more about that. But it's still interesting to see that even on app, you know, it's still the same as in real life, that you're more likely to go for people who have something interesting to say. So there's still that human aspect that you know, you hear lots of criticisms about apps and online dating that, you know, people are just there to look at a picture and make a decision. But there's still that human element of I want to know what this person is like. Even though it is more limited online and on apps and stuff, there's still that human aspect.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. Have you got anything else on that?
I feel like we've deviated a lot from the actual Sam and Holly interview,
which is fine. Though.
Which is fine, and because they answered most of the things themselves, they had a great dialogue there.
They're both
awesome.
very, very intelligent people.
Exactly,
so
have some really awesome things to say, and it could be worth taking them back for another episode sometime so they can explore their ideas more.
There's one. The next episode is going to be those two.
So awesome. There you go.
Well, so really, really cool.
That is awesome.
So I guess to close this off, I'm going to hand you my phone.
I'm ready. Here we go.
Hand you my phone.
Yeah.
With my Tinder profile open.
Here it is.
And talk people through it. What your thoughts are. Go for gold.
Okay.
Roast me, if you will, if you want to.
All right. Prepare yourself. No, I will try and give criticisms, if any, in the most diplomatic way.
You know me pretty well already, so a lot of it's not going to be surprising to you.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing that I see is what people see when they scroll across it. So there's your picture. It's a full face shot. There's no body. There's not, you know, you're not a tiny little person standing in the background of a huge, big environment, which some people do, which is super annoying. Simon, 29, and it's got, I can read a couple of the first sentences before it goes ... So you have to click on it to see more. So my initial, it's nice that you have the confidence to put your face in it. That's what I think a lot back when I was using Tinder. Nice, I mean, yeah, exactly. And I think, and whether that's true or not, you know, whether people agree or disagree, you think that.
Yeah.
Right? And you have the confidence to put your face there. And I really respect that. So as a person who would be swiping through this, I'd be like, yep, that's a good start. This person, you know, thinks well enough of themselves that they can smile and put their face right on the front page. Love that. That is attractive to me. And it's a nice picture. I mean, I know that you just had a haircut in this, so you're looking nice. You're feeling good about yourself, and I can see that in the picture. You've got your trademark little half smile there. You know, that's you.
See, that's interesting because that's something that I'm self-conscious about. Is my smile and my teeth, because at the moment I've got two missing two missing teeth right near the front. So I don't tend to do full smiles or show my teeth a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But it shows enough, and it's also, I think, slightly mischievous to do the half smile as well.
Yeah, it is.
And it's something
that's you. That's very you.
100% me.
Yep. So in that respect, you've chosen a picture that sums up part of your personality, and maybe people will be able to see that. I'm wondering if people are like me. Like, I like to dissect everything. I like to look at a picture and try and sum up that person based on what I can see in the picture. And I'm wondering actually how many people actually do that. Because I choose photos. Back when I was using Tinder and stuff, I chose the pictures that were most me, that summed up me. You know, I'd be doing the things that I loved. I'd be wearing things that made me feel like me. I'd be showing off the aspects of myself that made me feel most beautiful or just most wholesome, most genuine, absolutely, most like myself. And I can see here that because I think one of your best features is your eyes. You have beautiful blue eyes. And this picture really highlights that. And you know, you've shown that you've got your hair there, you've got your nice hair done, you're showing your nice eyes, and you've got your quirky smile. Like that sums up you. And so I'm not sure how many people think the same way as I do when they look at photos, but for me that's what I see.
Well, to be fair, we are going quite in depth.
Exactly. So that's one way I think that online you can still show parts of yourself that you would be doing in real life. You can actually use your photos to your advantage and show bits of yourself. People could maybe do some more thinking into that instead of
yourself.
I mean, not the naughty bits. That would get flagged. All right, I'm going to go to the next picture. It's another facial shot, and you've got longer hair there, and you've got your cheeky smile. I actually really like this picture.
I'm a big fan of this picture as well.
I really like that. It was one of your old profile pictures on Facebook, I think.
My eyes really popped in this picture too.
Yeah, I like it.
And because my hair was all over the place. I woke up and my hair was just everywhere.
Yeah,
and this was almost shoulder length hair at this point.
Yeah,
and it just looked magnificent. This mane of
hair. I can see it.
So cool.
That's one of my favorite things about the picture is the hair everywhere. I'm quite attracted to guys with long hair, and girls as well. Hair is quite a big thing for me. So, but it's. I can see in this picture your expression is like, yeah, damn, I look cool. Yeah. Like, I love the feeling that you've got in this picture, and I can see it. You've got like the wrinkle lines around your eyes that shows that it's a genuine smile rather than like I'm smiling for a picture and I want to look nice and stuff. This captures the emotion you were feeling at the time, and that's what I think the best pictures do.
Yeah.
And then you've got some beautiful pictures of Brutus,
Brutus
beautiful.
was my dog, for those that don't know.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's a great photo, and that shows part of yourself. It shows part of your life, part of your emotion, and that's who you are. And it shows you can take damn good pictures too. So that's
which one was it?
That's that one. That's my favourite of Brutus.
This is the flukiest photo I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there. So it's a picture of Brutus in the water at the beach.
Yeah.
And I was trying to take a picture from my hands, like looking down at him.
Yeah.
And just could not get the photo. Photo. So I put the phone down in front of him.
Yeah.
Could not see the screen at all.
Yeah.
And snapped this photo.
It's perfect.
Without seeing the screen, and I thought that's going to look like anything is going to have half of summer in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's just come out with one of the best photos I think I've ever taken in my life.
I love that photo. Yeah. It's cool, and it shows that you like to do activities, like you love the beach. You're an outdoors person. You got the emotional side of having a dog in your life. That's beautiful. It's a great picture. So, and then there's another awesome picture of Brutus. He just looks so happy there, like crazy happy, and that shows. I mean, from a more in-depth perspective, that shows that you can make another being happy. Do you know what I mean? You're a good caretaker, essentially. That's very important. And then you've got a nice photo of yourself in a good-looking suit. You look proud of yourself, like the way you appear.
Damn good suit too.
It's a lovely suit. It's a beautiful suit. And it's a full body shot, so that's good. So you're not just showing your face. I mean, that's an important thing. I'm always wondering why people choose to only show their face.
It is quite a slimming suit.
It is a slimming suit, exactly, and it's a good choice for a photo. Next one is yourself at work, and you've got the wee earpiece in, and you've sort of got your quirky smile looking down towards the camera. Yeah, I really have much to say about that. It's a photo. Yeah. It's a photo. Then there's another one in the back of the car. I like this photo less. Mm-hmm. This one here.
Yep, and that's fair.
It's just a photo. You're not smiling as much. No. I'm not the biggest fan, but it's a photo. It fills the space. Then there's a gorgeous drawing of Brutus that I think someone did for you.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. And then I don't like this one either. I like you with longer hair.
I need to take that off because that looks awful.
You're not smiling, and then you've got the short hair, which your longer hair suits you. Yeah. Like I like my favorite hair is the second one, obviously, but then the first one when you've got it all nicely done is great. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. This is the first sort of look at. Then I can go into the information. It has your job as a podcast host. That is very cool. That's different. Mm-hmm. When someone has a different job, for a start, you've put an actual job. Like when some people put the typical full-time mom or total boss bitch. It's like, okay.
No, full-time mom is a full-time job. That's
something. I'm personally not really.
Boss bitch and stuff like that.
Or like Scucks boy at University of Scucks. It's like, wow, okay, cool. Yeah. Maturity of a 12-year-old. Says you've gone to University of Canterbury and lives in Christchurch. Yeah, easy. You're not lying about it. You're putting real places instead of University of Awesome. Okay. Here we go again.
Yeah, cool.
So this is the description. A gentleman that's not a gentleman. Bisexual.
It's one of my favourite sayings. I keep saying it on the
podcast
too.
New Zealander / English. have a podcast about sex education. That is a really cool thing to pop on your bio. It shows that you're so interesting. Probably have more sex toys than you. I like that.
That's probably accurate for most people as well.
Yes, I have an accent. Winky face, winky face. Kinky and poly. Shit pickup lines. Great banter. Musician. Hit me up. And it's got your Snapchat and Instagram as well. Awesome. Yeah, so the first thing you've put is a witty quip about yourself, which I love witty quips when they're actually funny on Tinder. Some people have got some weird ideas about what's funny. But no, I really like that. A gentleman that's not a gentleman. I mean, that's going to get you the person that you want. The person who's going to see that and think, yes, is exactly the sort of person that you are looking for.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect setup for you.
And it does give a little bit of a wink that it's almost like the lady in the sheets, but lady in the streets, but freak in
the sheets. Yeah. It's a good equivalent of that. Then it says bisexual with an exclamation mark, which shows that you're proud of your sexuality. And yes, I love that, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyone who has a problem with that, like a girl sees that and has a problem with that, then they know they're informed. Anyway. Not going to match. Yeah. They're informed. They can move on instead of it being a weird thing later on that comes up. Like, actually, yeah, I have slept with men, and she's like, oh. You know, it gets the haters out of the way, essentially. Yeah. New Zealander / English, people are interested in nationalities. I am, definitely, a lot of girls are. Mm-hmm. Have a podcast about sex education. Yes, this shows a deeper part of yourself. Mm-hmm. It shows that you're interesting and you're informed, especially about something as important and controversial as sex. Shows that you're not afraid to talk about it. Obviously, with your podcast.
And learn about it.
Exactly. It shows that you're educated and you know what you're doing, which is a big turn on. And it shows that you're not afraid to talk to people about what you do. So not only do you have a podcast, but you share it with people, you share your knowledge, and you're not afraid you're not ashamed. Probably have more sex toys than you. Yeah, fuck yeah. That's another cheeky thing to put in. Like, yeah, definitely.
See, I think that comment, when it's not coupled with some of the other things in my profile, I think that could be taken quite strangely. But because I've got the kinkies thing there, I've got the
exactly. And if it came out of nowhere, it'd be like, what?
Yeah.
This guy's a bit creepy, but it's not. It's in context. Yeah. You're right, absolutely. Yes, I have an accent, and that is an important thing to put because people are into that.
Yeah.
I am.
The weird part about it is that I can change my accent around, and you know this.
Yes.
Because I used to play with you with it. You're sitting there, I'm sorry, Lauren. I'm very sorry that that's happened to you. But let's move on, shall we? And if you could see this right now, Lauren's face has just gone bright red.
I like accents. What can I say?
But playing with accents with you is one of the funniest things.
Exactly.
And I love it so much.
And then it says kinky and poly. Nice. It's a good disclaimer. I mean, the poly thing is something that's more controversial, and it's going to get the wrong people out of the way.
Well, and that's why I don't get a whole heap of matches, I don't think, is because I am upfront and say this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the fact that I don't get as many matches because the matches that I get are going to be
they're going to be honest and genuine. Yep, definitely important. And you've got kinky here as well, so that's going to get you the right sort of people.
Yeah.
And it's again shows that you're not ashamed of who you are and you're proud of and ready to share like parts of yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shit pickup lines, funny. I have shit. I don't have pickup lines. I have just shit pickup or no pickup. Well, and it's funny. It's like you're showing that you can laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
Which is such an important quality.
My favourite / worst pickup line.
Yeah.
I may not have gotten your virginity, but could I at least try the box that it came in?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But good, but terrible.
If you want to confuse them.
Yeah.
If I was to ask you for sex, would your answer be the same as the answer to this question? Because if you say yes, then you've said yes to sex, and if you say no, then the answer's not going to be the same as if I asked you for sex.
Ah, tricky.
Yeah.
That took me a while to wrap my head around.
Well, that's what you can't use that in a club, for example. You've got to have the right person to be able to use that line.
Yeah.
It's never going to work in a club when everybody's drinking. Because you'll literally just get the blank face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people in clubs aren't ready for that kind of thing.
But even just in general, it's not the easiest one to wrap your head around.
Yeah. It took me a while. My brain's still in defrost.
Let's be clear, it's been fucking cold this morning.
It's been cold. I'm tired, and that's that. Right. The last bit of your profile, great banter, musician, hit me up. Like, more parts of yourself, more things for people to connect with. Like, shows you're a bit, like, fun, and you're keen for people to make a move. You're open. You're ready. Like, good. So many,
Something's open.
And it oh my gosh, open for business. And, like, the hit me up thing shows that you are probably going to respond. That so many people have this great profile and never message back or never message you, and it's like, why are you here if you're not actually going to respond or make a move to ask people stuff? I don't know. You've got links to other social media. That's awesome if people are into that kind of thing. And you've got your anthem is inmate 4859, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who Sabaton are. I don't know the song.
They're heavy metal.
I'm gonna play the clip.
This is a quite melodic part of the song.
It is. I always find that Spotify, like Tinder, the Spotify link on Tinder actually finds really good parts of songs. Again, I really like that Tinder have this feature of being able to put a song, like an anthem. It's something that sums you up. It's so cool.
Because I haven't listened to that song in a fair while at this point.
It's cool. And then, it shows what people listen to on Spotify and stuff. So it's another way to connect with somebody and find out, how do they sum themselves up with a song. That's really cool. I like that feature. So that's your Tinder profile.
What's your rating out of 10?
Okay.
Because there's a couple of things you didn't like in that.
Yeah, a couple of the photo choices, not a fan.
There are
but most of them good. Well. There are a lot of photos. It can be a bit overwhelming when people choose lots of photos.
Yeah.
Points for putting real stuff, like your job, your location. Not that location's particularly important, but you didn't take the piss out of it.
Yeah.
That shows maturity. Love that you've got disclaimers about yourself that you're proud of. And you've picked a song that's not a piss take. Like some people put some really silly stuff, or pick stuff based on the title of the song. Yeah, exactly. Or pick stuff based on the title of a song, like something really sexualized or a bit grotty. Good bio. I like the bio, actually. I'm the sort of person who would respond well to this. Okay. Out of 10, I would say that is an 8. That is an 8 for me, which, by my standards, is very high.
Yeah. So
I'm very picky.
It would be a swipe right.
I would, yeah, for sure.
Damn straight.
Yeah. He's like, it better be.
Yeah.
No, I stopped doing the Tinder thing a while ago. It wasn't. I just don't have the time, honestly. And
I feel you.
Yeah, and too many people took the piss, and some of the dates just didn't really come to anything. I don't know.
Just before we leave, because this is a long episode.
It has been very long. I do apologise for my rambling.
Don't apologise. It's been fantastic. I think the fact that the dates don't come to things, I think part of that is, like we talked about right near the start of this, that 7% that you actually get from people when you're talking in a text format, as opposed to like we're talking now. We can see the body movements of each other. We can see the language that we're speaking. We can see the facial responses and all that sort of stuff, which makes a huge difference.
So important.
And you get two people that haven't had that before meeting up.
Yeah, it can be super awkward.
Be a completely different vibe than what you were.
Definitely.
You can be vibing hard on the app that you're on, or OkCupid, or whatever you're looking at. And then you meet the person in real life, and you just can't get any
Exactly.
real flowing anything.
Exactly. And it even happens all the time with Facebook friends. I mean,
Yeah.
some of my friends in real life could talk for hours, you know, my best mates could talk for hours, and they literally can't send a message to save their life. They either just leave you on red, or they give you a K, or no emoji, no punctuation, just very boring flat messages. And I know that's not like them in real life, but it's so boring.
See, I think I'm pretty good with both.
Yeah. I'd say you are.
I'm quite descriptive with my words, and I think that comes from the fact that I've done a lot of writing.
Yeah,
in my
definitely.
life. So, and I hope that I'm descriptive enough and can talk well enough in person as well. You want to hope so for somebody who's running a fucking podcast.
I probably wouldn't be talking to you if you weren't, to be honest.
Yeah, true. But yeah, cool. On that note, we've been at it for over 100 minutes now.
Wow.
It's been an hour 45 that we've been doing this. So I think last time was an hour and a half.
It was a while. Yeah, so it was a while.
Each time we get together, it's a good conversation and keeps going and it flows well.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool for me. So thank you once again for taking time out of what I know is an extremely busy schedule.
You're so welcome.
I know you've got some band stuff to do.
Yep.
A little bit later.
I
do.
do.
Again, really appreciate it. Really, really interesting to go through this. And we are going to have you back on again, hopefully soon.
Yes.
To talk about what?
We are going to be talking about the mentality and sort of personality behind sexual offending. So hopefully going through some warning signs of people, so people can know what to look out for. Sort of some things you wouldn't expect that you might see as everyday behaviours that are actually key elements of the personalities of sexual offenders and the sort of MO of sexual offenders. And that's from my experience as a youth worker, rehabilitating young men who have engaged in sexually harmful behaviour. So things that I've learned through that job and my degree in criminal justice. Hopefully a bit eye-opening.
Yeah, and it should be really, really interesting to get into that and delve into it, because it's not a subject I know a lot about, so I'm really looking forward to learning about that as well.
Cool.
Going through. But once again, thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.
Whoops.